so hard to root for. Oh,
okay,
God,
so I guess you have an issue.
Just shut up and play, will you please? America's tired of Draymond Green, and I deal with them constantly. The fans, they're not, San Francisco fans, different story. They're tired of. Listen, be quiet and play.
I want to take a little umbrage with
you're allowed. Go ahead.
The shut up and play, because that has the same sort of connotations that the shut up and dribble crowd has towards athletes, and I have a real problem with that. And specifically with Draymond, the idea that America is tired of him. You do realize the guy has a very, very popular podcast that he hosts where he talks himself for a majority of the episode, and people listen to that. He signed a talent deal with Turner because people want to hear what Draymond has to say.
It's true.
The reason they want to hear what Draymond has to say is because, just like in this press conference, he is real, authentic, and unfiltered. And as a player, he is real, authentic, and unfiltered.
This is not a political scenario or a race situation. Who have followed Wilt and grew up as a Knicks fan, who loved Clyde and loved Reed and loved the Pearl.
I disagree with you on that. I'm not saying it's a race situation. I'm saying that the fans you're talking about, they talk about athletes that way, like you just talked about an athlete.
I think there's a lot.
The people on Fox News talk about athletes that way.
Let's go on the record. There is no question that ESPN's Chris Mad Dog Russo, also of Sirius XM, is a loud individual.
He strikes out. Everybody talks to me about Trout and DiMaggio. I mean, Trout strikes out 175 times a year. Plus the fact. What? Are you looking at me? Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at the ground. Look at me. Plus the fact it was 2 out, nobody on. The game was awful. That game was a bad game. I was bored stiff.
And a lot of times, dude is just flat out wrong on the subject.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
There's a technically bipartisan deal to end the government shutdown, but many Democrats are not happy about it.
The American people want us to stop this healthcare heist. They don't want Democrats to be driving the getaway car.
And this is not a usual fight in the Democratic Party between progressives and centrists, even though it was centrist Democrats who cut this deal. There are many across the left that are angry that the compromise does not include a guarantee of extending the Affordable Care Act health insurance premiums that were at the heart of this shutdown fight. There's only the guarantee of a vote in the Senate, not in the House, and no guarantee of Republican support in the Senate. So that leaves many Democrats thinking that these 8 senators capitulated to Republicans and gave away what limited leverage the party has in Washington. None of these 8 senators are up for election in 2026, and that's notable.
Where once again, the Dems have decided to abandon ship and fail us, Russo went in.
And the Democrats, you're dead wrong too. The both of you. You all go to hell. Every single one of you. Every elected official should be embarrassed what they caused. Embarrassed. And I have this on good authority from people who were in these airports the last 3 or 4 days, including my kid, in the last 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's ridiculous what they put us through.
What I'd like to hear from him is why he feels the Dems are dead wrong, because we have a certain way of thinking about this.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, and in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened.
And let's say if it were to reflect that image that Bernie Sanders painted and also this,
Well, I'm unhappy because people's healthcare premiums are going to spike. Yesterday, when I was at Fort Worth Airport waiting 6 hours because of all the delays, someone came up running to me and he said, look, my father's insurance in Arizona, who's a taxi cab driver, is going to go up from $44 a month to $2,600 a month. That is outrageous. The Democrats should have fought for some help for that taxi driver and for 20 million people around America like that.
How much of this do you put at the feet of Charles Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate?
Most of it. I mean, he's the leader of the Senate. This deal would never have happened if he had not blessed it. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of other senators who are saying that they kept Senator Schumer in the loop the whole time. Look, I've worked with Senator Schumer. He did an incredible job on the CHIPS Act, on the IRA, on infrastructure, but it's time for him to be replaced.
Then I would unequivocally say he is onto something. He would not elaborate. If it's just they're responsible for the shutdown because they're all politicians, without context of why they were doing it with broad support from the electorate, then he's doing a great disservice. Of course, that would not be all.
All of you should be ashamed. Every single elected official on both sides of the aisle should look themselves in the mirror how they let down the American public and made us a laughingstock around the world. This is not about winners and losers, who is right and who is wrong. This is about doing something good for the American people and say, you know what? All right, they're wrong, but I got to step up here and make sure that the air traffic controllers are there with aircraft and in towers. Not saying, well, your turn, LaGuardia, your turn, Kennedy. Newark, it's been 40 minutes. Send a plane out that's been sitting there for 15 hours. That's not the way this works. If you're the President of the United States or you're a Republican who controls everything, you do what's right for the American person, and they didn't do that. Simple.
He'd also despise, during the shutdown, seeing Trump sit in the broadcast booth with Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma during the Commanders-Lions game in Landover, Maryland.
I mean, my God almighty. And I got the president sitting there with freaking Vilma breaking down the 2003 Saints. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And chest bumping Vilma. When they got a 75-year-old who's been sitting in Miami International for 3 days. He got hearing aids. He can't hear the announcements of when its JetBlue flight takes off for Bozeman. I mean, you really got to be. And I got these. Oh my God, it's sickening.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.